Good morning, guys. It's Stephanie here, and I have my New Matter t-shirt on today, and I love wearing this t-shirt. I actually had a call yesterday. I had to call for some tech support on a system that I use, and before the guy would actually answer my question, he wanted to know what I was grateful for. This is a multinational company, and it was just in a chat, and he said, "Hey Stephanie, before I jump in to help you, can you let me know what you're grateful for?" And I thought, how cool is that? I mean, our world is changing. A lot of it on this side is not great, and then a lot of it is kind of good. It's very strange, and I hope some of it doesn't stop. So that brings me to my sharing today. I'm sharing one of my family's most favorite recipes, but I also wanted to make sure that it was really easy for everybody to do. That's the key, right? It needs to be something that's easy. It needs to be, in my world, healthy. It needs to be repeatable. You need to be able to make it yourself. And it needs to be adaptable. So you need to be able to make not just this, but turn this into other things. That's always really key for me as well. You don't just want to make something and that's all you're making. So this is my chicken finger recipe is loved by this family. I've shared it with a bunch of people. It's on my website as well, but I'm going to share it with you guys and show you exactly how to make it. So my name is Stephanie Hunchins-White, and I am a registered holistic nutrition coach. And I'm going to show you how to make chicken fingers today. So what I have first are our chicken breasts, and they're semi-frozen. Oh, this one's defrosted completely. So I'm going to use this one that's still a little frozen because it makes it the easiest way to cut them. So I'm just going to show you how you can also buy the chicken fingers, when you'll see them in a I forgot one step here. You'll see them sometimes in a package, and they already have strips. You could always do that if you don't want to cut them yourself. But the first thing I actually want to do is make our egg wash so that I have a place to put my chicken. So I picked a simple stainless steel bowl just to show you guys that it doesn't need to be anything fancy. When we're making dishes, you don't have to have, the latest, greatest bowls or utensils in your kitchen. So that was one egg, and then if you know anything about my kind of cooking, I'm not great at measuring. I just kind of eyeball things and do it. And I was on a call last week with a group of people who had asked me to come on and talk a little bit about cooking. And one of the things somebody mentioned was, I love the step-by-step, and I need a little bit more hand-holding, and that's fine. That's what I do in my coaching, right? So I'm actually going to measure for you guys today so you actually have a real gauge. So one whole egg in here, and I'm going to do 1/4 cup of milk. Now, if you are dairy-free and are off milk, you can easily use water to adapt this recipe. Okay, so just going to mix that up because that's what we're going to put the chicken in. So as you saw, I sliced one little piece of chicken there. I'm going to put it in, and I'll just do a few more. You guys don't need to watch me make my whole recipe. So when the chicken is still a little bit frozen, it just makes it easier to get really thin slices. So you don't necessarily just have to have the thin slices. You could do fingers. I always tend to do it this way because I make these when my kids were in school, and I would put them in sandwiches. So when I'm making chicken fingers, quite often I'll make a few, leave them in the fridge for the kids after school. I have teenagers. And then others, I put them right into their sandwiches, or you can make quesadillas. So you put them on the tortilla shell, put some melted cheese on top, put another top on it, and actually put it in a frying pan and flip it over once the chicken fingers are made. And you can also use this recipe and make chicken parm. So you could use the chicken fingers and then put some, how would you make chicken parm? Put some tomato sauce on there, or tomato sauce, and then some grated cheese, and pop that under the broiler. So again, so adaptable, right? As I mentioned, it has to be easy, it has to be repeatable, you need to be able to make it yourself, and it has to be adaptable. So there we are, there's one whole chicken breast. So we'll just do that one for now. So we have our chicken in here with our egg and our milk. Okay, I'm just going to wash my hands, and then I'm going to show you what I do for the breading. So the breading that I use is a gluten-free one, and if you can change up the, what I use here, I use almond meal. So almond meal you'll see recipes with almond meal, almond flour, almond meal. If you are nut free or you don't have any in the house, you know, a lot of us can't run out and get this right now. And this is half a cup. You can easily use breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs, flour even work in this recipe. So a half a cup of the almond flour there. And then we're gonna add some paprika. So it's 1 teaspoon of paprika and just a pinch of salt. And sometimes you might not even need salt. The almond flour has a ton of flavoring. Just gonna grab a different fork. Okay. I really like this recipe too because kids can make it, your partner can make it. It's easy enough for other people to hop on with you. And why did I pick this as an immune boosting recipe? Well, it's immune boosting because it's not processed, for one thing, so it's not going to stress out our bodies. It's going to help calm that nervous system, right? We want to calm the nervous system in order to support our body while we're all going through all this stressful time right now. And it has protein in it, and protein actually is needed for our immune defense system. Protein helps make antibodies, and we need the antibodies in order to fight viruses. So protein right now in our diet is really, really, really important. So I'm happy that you're here watching me make this recipe. So all I have here is some parchment paper, and I put 1 teaspoon, I measured it, 1 teaspoon of oil on the parchment paper, and then I just use my hand just to move it around. And it just kind of helps the browning of the chicken fingers. So we're going to, can you guys see this? I'm gonna move this over here so you can see what's going on. Okay, so we're just gonna pop our chicken finger from the egg into the bread or the almond flour, almond meal, whatever you are going to use. And I tend to use 2 forks. So 1 in the egg mixture and then another in the flour mixture. That way it just makes it that much easier. Otherwise it gets your fork will get kind of clumpy after a while. Now have the oven heated up to 350 degrees. And then you're gonna pop them into the oven after that. And these are the kind of recipes that I share with my clients. And it's kind of the simple steps. So if we were to, in a coaching call, if I was to talk to somebody about their food and they said, well, yeah, our family loves chicken fingers, then we might talk about a recipe like this to make changes, because small changes have a big, big impact on us. And small steps are really, really important. We can't just jump the gun and make lots of changes all at once, because otherwise, it's not sustainable. Just like if this recipe wasn't easy for you to make, look at that crazy one, then you wouldn't be able to repeat it, right? And do it again. Same thing in coaching. It has to be something that's repeatable. It has to be something that somebody can continue to do, and it has to get results. And that's the beauty of it. It just has the ripple effect. So if you start to change something in your diet, like going from boxed chicken fingers over to healthier chicken fingers, you're going to notice a difference in your health and in your family's health. And you don't want to change too much, because then you're not going to be able to look back and say, wow, adding walks in every day, or adding more water into my day, or changing the protein that we eat is the thing that made the difference. And that's really important. And when we are looking at health. So I'm just going to finish this one. And I was really thought it was going to be, I thought this was going to go for, it might last the whole chicken breast. It's hard to tell, but I wanted to give you the gauge on the half a cup of the almond, or the whatever it is that you're using for your base, so whether it's almond flour or breadcrumbs, and then the paprika, I wanted to give you the measurement. So half a cup to 1 teaspoon. You can always make more. It's easy to do this on the fly while you're going. Okay, so have your oven warmed up to 350 degrees. You're going to cook these chicken fingers for 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the thickness of your fingers. So I usually set the timer for 15 minutes, and then I'll just cut into one of them just to make sure that there's no pink left in the middle, and then take it out. Usually at this kind of thickness, 15 minutes is all it needs, but just be ready that in case it needs 20 minutes. And there we go. So there is your immune boosting recipe of chicken fingers, guys. I have my Immune Boost project out there right now. It's only $37. It's normally $97, and it's on sale just for a couple more days. And this is where I teach you kind of small steps to take so that you can boost your immune system, calm your nervous system, and naturally make sure that you build energy and you support that immune system that we really, really need to be supporting right now. So the Immune Boost Project, I'll put the link down below for you. Enjoy your chicken fingers. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven in a minute. And I'll also share a link. I have this recipe over on my website. If you just want to be able to watch a quick video on how to make it, then it is there for you. And I hope to see some of you in the Immune Boost Project. And thank you for joining me today. Next week I'll have something just as simple. It's going to be immune boosting as well. I was actually in a call last week and somebody asked me why, what kind of meals that they could make that were batch cooking. So I want to put together a couple of ideas so you can do some batch cooking, so you can, again, cook something once, turn it into other things, right? As I mentioned, I can put this in sandwiches, you can wrap it up in wraps, you can make it chicken parm, you can just make it chicken fingers, you can do quesadillas, all sorts of things. So thanks for joining me, guys, and check out the Immune Boost Project, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for joining me. Bye.